We're back. Okay. I should be good. If it's not, I don't know. I'll put like a video game over it or something, but I'm not trying to play video games right now because I'm trying to change my life. Anyway, just don't even worry about the whole free will thing because it can change things, of course. And obviously, like, see, I'm trying to. I don't know, it just. The not having free will thing, I believe it to be true from multiple perspectives, which may not matter. It may all be from one perspective. From multiple angles and for multiple reasons, I believe it to not exist. But then if someone asks me to break it down, I can't from some angles, and so maybe my intuition is guiding me. But it also feels as if it's an abstract thing that it's more from. This is not from the physics perspective. This is more from, I don't believe a brain can function in such a way where free will, as we kind of would find it satisfying, exists. And like compatibilism, from what I understand, is like from a word, like, I guess technically, I don't know if semantics is the right word because I don't know anything. I do think my ego tells me otherwise. And my ego may be right in some way, I don't know. But it's like, even if, compatibilism, I guess, is... Even compatibilism kind of is cope from a physics perspective, kind of. I don't know, guys. Like... like... I don't know much about physics. The whole free agent thing in compatibilism, it's like, technically because you're a free agent, and you're acting on your own regardless of if it's like, even if you can't act outside of your own programming, it's like the programming kind of like you're not free, but you're also technically freely acting from the universe. What's even considered like like, I don't know. I don't have enough information. This is the problem. I don't have enough information, and I might have more if I actually would research. But it always bugs me, like, what if I was like... What if I was like in a forest, man, and I had these exact same... Because I've had these thoughts without any... I don't think it was external influence that led to me. Because, like... certain ways of, in which I am... What if... It doesn't matter, guys. I was thinking of a scenario which will never occur, probably, due to the nature of the world. I always bug myself with these scenarios that physically just won't happen. Now, sometimes these scenarios can expose stuff about myself, because these scenarios are kind of extreme. Like, what could you actually do without this or this? But a lot of times it just brings me down. But a lot of them are useless, and I should just strive for making the most progress towards my goals, instead of like trying to don't know if emotional justification or the, instead of trying to like feel good or strong in some kind of way, just worry about the systems that work. Like, just create systems that work. Stop trying to be strong in situations where you don't need it. Like, just rely on what reality is, and only think about something. Don't think about things that simply aren't gonna happen. Even if they're just not gonna happen. It's not even like you can't control them. It's just these things that I'm thinking about aren't gonna happen. But for some reason, they really, really affect me emotionally. And the best way to deal with things sometimes is just to not think about them. And in this case, I just thought maybe if I downplay the validity of, like, I don't know, if I downplay these thoughts even being valid, these scenarios, and my brain's like, well, yeah, you would be cooked in that, or you wouldn't be able to get to a certain way you want to get to, which would affect you. But in the same way that scenario would never happen, it's like, let's think of an even more ridiculous scenario that would never happen. And it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense to think about. And it's like, well, let's apply the same thing to the thing that you thought wasn't that extreme, even though it is. Like, sometimes you have to go to a further extreme to see the lesser extreme actually being extreme, because they both are, but sometimes you can't see one is until you go farther. And then once you go farther, you can recognize the ridiculousness in thinking of the farther one. And then you can, kind of recognize, well, these variables that make it ridiculous also apply to the one that you didn't realize was ridiculous. And so now they're both stupid. So why the fuck are we thinking about either? And then you go back, and then, maybe a few seconds later, or another point in time, you start the same thing, and you start kind of the same mental process you went through before. You realize the ridiculousness of the scenario, and then so you have to go back and do the same thing again. But as long as you can, I guess maybe if you do the process once, you recognize the process, you can then automatically apply the process again. Anyway, we need to change our life. And it is changing. Just not enough to see great outcomes yet. But, and I agree with, the end is all that matters. Kind of. For my quality of life, yeah, I guess whoever gets the last laugh that's the winner. The person who gets the last laugh, that's all that matters. I mean, you can apply that to more than just people. You can apply that. I mean, I'm never in scenarios with people because I've been so lazy that I don't talk to people. I don't socialize. I just kind of feel disconnected from it all, and I'm also very, I'm not saying this like, I'm not exaggerating when I say this. This is not like a light to, kind of messing around. I'm very mentally ill. I've retard maxed enough. I kind of naturally retard max because it was the only cope when I don't have video games or something else. It's really just video games because I don't do drugs. When I don't have like some, dopamine cope or dopacope. I don't like that. Dopacope. And when I don't have some dopamine cope, I have to cope with just a lack of feeling. Or like, if you have an unsolvable problem, man, it's not easy, and there's a lot of issues that come with it. But sometimes you just have to not think about it. And that, see, I'm just a robot, bro. Like, this is not mental illness showing. I mean, like, I can't tell where, like, my movement. You know, sometimes you just have to let the chaos ensue. You just let it all go. It's like, man, you try to get before the act, and you see yourself as a robot that's just moving, just spewing out these things, and even the thoughts themselves are automatic. You can't go before them, and trying to go before them, there's another automatic process taking place. And then you realize you can't do anything about it, which that's also automatic. So if I went in the opposite direction, it'd be automatic as well. But you can't escape your your programming, or it's just deeper programming taking over. There's no escape, and it's okay, I guess. Like, some may find that sad, or if they even understand what I'm saying, or let's say it's not necessarily the only reason they wouldn't find it sad. Like a lot of it to me, and I label it as chaos for whatever reason. Like this, it's kind of mental chaos. But if you can't escape it, because you literally can't. You literally can't, but kind of. Because you could escape it by obviously death. But, of course, that would also be an output of the automatic program. So you didn't escape it, it just chose to do something, but you have, that experience has stopped. There's no more automatic program for that, in that case, for that individual, because they don't exist. They're not conscious. So they have escaped, but it was caused by the automatic program. I have almost escaped kind of before without death. I almost became a mute. No one knows that, of course, because no one knows any of my mental issues, pretty much. At least not to the extremes. Because I am apparently really good at hiding everything. Which is bad. And I don't have enough strength to go outside the cage that I've put myself in. Or not that I don't really put myself in it, but some situations I stay in the cage. It's like I'm naturally in the cage, which a lot of people are naturally in some kind of cage. And I still am, but less so. But it almost... Anyway. See, this is possibly a problem. It hasn't been that long. But yeah, I like it. I like all the noises. There's dogs barking, all these lights going on, these animals. I like the noise. It almost feels like I'm a king watching over. It's giving me a similar vibe to Julius for some reason. My brain's linking it to Julius Perceiver, and just how he talks, like Julius Perceiver raw. And I think it's I guess it's talking to the camera why there's a link. But it also feels, I don't know if there's any point in trying to explain it, but it could trying to explain something which I seem to not be able to articulate well. Maybe because I can't even I don't even have a grasp myself. I don't know that. In trying to articulate something you can't, they'll be beneficial for developing the skill of doing so, of articulating it. So, and this is a no risk environment to develop the skill. So it would make sense to try, but how much does it matter? I don't know. See, that's I pinned, I feel it. That's whenever there's something which seems to be beneficial, I see it and I simply don't do it out of laziness, or it doesn't seem worth it. And it's like I don't fully think out. First, for a moment, I was thinking, well, let me think if the ROI is even worth it on this. If I talk about something else that, is more beneficial to talk about. But like, beneficial for what? This video isn't really for profit. It isn't for anything else. I'm sure some kind of subconscious or tiny motive, you wouldn't mind getting some profit off of making a YouTube channel. But it's like, I for some reason can't compare the scenarios, and I think it's because I don't give a shit about the outcome, maybe, or my brain's too dumb to compare all the different, the different outcomes, and so it just turns into emotion instead of logically, I guess, objectively thinking about it. I don't know if I articulated that well, and you guys might not know either, because it may sound sensical to you, but it may not have been in alignment with what I was actually feeling inside my mind. And I say feeling because I kind of view thoughts as feelings, not these. We separate them from feelings, but I don't know if I view them indifferently. I mean, yes, they are different, of course, but I think there's... No, I don't know. That was a spurt of emotion right there. Or a spurt of it's honestly just talking, or yapping right there. I don't know if I agree with that, but it's okay. I feel the chains of something right now. I really do enjoy this, guys. I really enjoy this view right here. This is very nice. And it may be, that I'm also... This scenario I happen to enjoy because of this as well. And that kind of overlaps with this. And now that I'm thinking about it, I enjoy it less, but maybe I'm just paying attention to things I didn't before. But I feel like I'm high up, which I enjoy. I like the elevation, the variation in the land. I don't like being on flat land. I kind of hate it, actually. I like being high up or seeing mountains around me. Which is why I hate Florida. There's no exaggeration. I'm extremely... I shouldn't give out my... It doesn't matter. I'm extremely impacted by visual stimuli. I may want to cut that out in case people try to torture me in the future. Which is, you may think I'm being mentally insane when I say that. It's not necessarily the case. I'm not going to go into why, though. But it's not necessarily an illogical thing to think. If the things play out the way, in the general direction I kind of am moving towards, in the next, it's going to be a long time. And, it may be, over... I don't know how well anti-aging technology is going to work, but it will be available to me because I'll be wealthy enough to have it, even if it's, restricted to the wealthier people. I should have access, assuming if I don't plant the seeds, I won't have access, but that's why I have to plant the seeds. I will, use it and hopefully live much longer, and then it will advance even further. I can experiment in my life more, whatever that even looks like, and carry out plans far into the future. It's likely that if you don't have the same ideas, you probably... Whoever's watching this video, you may not be alive by the time my plans are carried out, so they aren't necessarily ones that you would agree with, but it won't matter for you because you won't be around, probably. I shouldn't say anymore. But the point is, with the kind of plans... I really shouldn't say anymore, actually, but with certain plans, it's if I get tortured, people try to stop me. torturing me would be to like get information out of me in this case, probably. To try to get me to sell out, other people. If I even require people for the plans, I would like a group. I would like a group of people who I'm very, very close with. There's a lot of benefits to having one group of people. Number one, I don't know this for a fact, but just intuitively to me, I just think, I think that, let me just say, I don't need to say intuitively. I think that if you have a group of people that you're really close with, you guys are fucking interlocked, it's like, you would start to care about the opinions of everyone else less, I think, because you would find safety socially in that group. Dad, is that you? Yeah. Okay. You'd find safety in that group. And so, you wouldn't have to, it's like your brain would start to kind of subconsciously care about other people's opinions less because it wouldn't find danger in, or wouldn't find there to be great repercussions in those thinking down on you because you have this kind of safety in the group that you're close with because they don't care. They have to not care. And as long as you're close with them, your brain should lessen the impact of other people's opinions on your psyche. But, oh yeah, I think it's unlocked.
I think I locked it when I was going down. I left the key out there.
Yeah, it's locked.
Thanks.
Mom has the key.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I took it down. I want to call her, tell her to make sure it's out. What you doing?
I'm making a video. It's just talking.
I'm gonna go take a shower.
Okay. And so I believe if you had a group of people like really close, let me articulate that again. Actually, I believe, or let me try. But I believe if you had a group of people who you're close with, it only has to be a few. Hell, it could even be one depending on the person. And you were close enough with them. It's like, kind of. And you were very close to those individuals, and you know that they really have your back. It's almost like, I don't know if tribal bonds really existed like they say, like, or if they even say that, but it's like what is called like tribal bonding, like you're really close, like, not on some gay shit, but like, I mean, it could even be that. That probably would actually help if I had to get, I don't know, would that help or not? Could that cause issues? Anyway, you're really clear. You get the point, guys. If that was the case, you wouldn't really worry about. I think it would decrease the effects. I think it would decrease the effects of your perception of other people's perceptions onto you. I think you would care about what other people think less, because I think the reason that kind of happens in the first place, if I had to guess, is because from like, I don't know, from an evolutionary perspective, we'll simplify it and call it that. It's like if you're with the tribe and everyone started getting pissed off and hating you, that could cause issues for you. And if it did, chances are, if I had to guess, because I don't know, I haven't really researched it myself, I'm just trying to think through it, if that caused issues for you, the people who didn't care about what other people thought, they probably did some dumb shit, and people started hating them. They got outcast or even killed or something else, and so their genes weren't passed on. But the people who did care, they were able to fit in. They were able to, not be outcast by society, and they could actually reproduce and pass on their genes. And so now you have the genes of the people who survived, aka those who actually cared about what other people thought. Again, I could be wrong because I don't really know. I mean, I have a basic understanding of how evolution works. I haven't researched anything, so I could be spitting nonsense here. That's just what I think if I had to think of it, like what probably happened. But I think that, since you would have a group of people you're close with, you don't have the risk of, it's like everyone else would be turned down because you're like, oh, I have safety with this group. It doesn't really matter with these individuals because I still have safety over here. I will be fine. And your brain kind of realizes that, and I think it'd be kind of more subconscious, probably, and it would shift a bit over time, if I had to guess, but I could be completely wrong. I really could be very wrong on that. Because you do have your parents, I suppose, and you know they're going to support you, at least, and it's for me, for example, but I still care about what other people think. But I think there are some other variables. But the only way to change things, guys, is for your actions to change. So, the actions must change. Once you really boil it down to that, you don't think about it anymore. They either change or they don't. Stuff starts getting, it seems like progress starts happening a lot faster. For me, at least. No more, I don't even know. See, I'm not going to think about this because it's already working in my benefit. It's, the emotions, the drivers from what I just said have, been positively, have been reestablished again, and it's a positive thing for my future, for my the outputs that I give. And so I'm not going to think anymore about it. I'm not going to try to dig deep and see, well, is there more nuance? Fuck the nuance. If it benefits you, I don't care. My ego's not going to, my ego doesn't care about this either in terms of like, oh, you're not intelligent because there's nuance you're missing. It doesn't matter. Like, in this case, I'm not worried about it because I've justified it by being an intelligent thing to do, probably. My ego's never that high for a lot of it. Like, it really isn't. Except for driving. My ego's kind of high for that. I think I'm a good driver, and people call me bad driver because I've crashed twice. The first time was because I was having too much fun, and I was drifting. Well, I was trying to drift in an SUV, and it started flipping, and then went out of control, and then it didn't flip, but it hit a car in a parking lot because I was trying to drift in a school parking lot. I have mixed feelings, man, because it's like I almost find joy in thinking about it. How much, I don't know if it's because of being an idiot. I find it fun to think about. But at the same time, it's like, well, that kid did have his car kind of messed up a bit, but it wasn't too bad, and we're chill. So it's like, at the same time, then I think about the scenario where I'd have to go, like, say I'm sorry and stuff. Am I really sorry? And it's stuff kind of bugs me down. So emotions are kind of annoying. I mean, I love, they're good when they're good, but the lows for me are much, I don't like the lows, obviously. No one does. But anyway, like I said, that thing where it's just like, it either happens or it doesn't, just change it. If it changes, it changes. If you don't change anything, nothing is going to change in a predictable way that you want. See, I shouldn't even add in a predictable way. Either you're behaving, this is true though, I said it's true, but to really increase the my faith in what I'm saying here. at least from a subconscious point, I did that, but then I realized, and maybe it lessens the effect of it. Anyway, it is true, and that's, regardless of the reasoning, it is true. Either your behavior changes, and so the outputs change, aka your life changes, or your behavior doesn't change. You do the same thing, you continue to do things that aren't beneficial, and your life doesn't get better. It's that simple. Don't add the nuance, because that will give you excuses and justifications possibly, and it can take longer. Because you want to begin as soon as possible. And I'm not saying this as someone who has begun as soon as possible, but I'm trying to. Just remove the nuance, make it black and white in this case, and just say, I fucking have to do it, or nothing happens. You know? You create this kind of internal source of this anxiousness to do it, if possible. But you need to boil it down as simple. Just think of the outcomes. Yeah, there are a lot of different options, but they each have an outcome, and the outcome is either you move closer to the goal or you don't. Now, I guess you can think about it more and say, well, you could like be a bit lazy and kind of move towards the goal in some outcome. But we don't need to worry about that. You just move towards it. That's all that matters for now, I think. And yeah, just try to move towards it, and then you'll find kind of the, I don't know if you'd say it in this term, in this the way I'm, what I'm talking about here, but it's like just move forward, and you'll find the, kind of what you really need to do as you move, because you'll find, the context, you'll understand yourself and what works and what doesn't. You'll understand the nuance, and all these different things, and then you can actually make good judgments. But you need the information first, and I think it's stupid to try to get it all in your mind. And oftentimes when I try to think of it in my mind, I just get bogged down or something. I don't know what I'm going to talk here. I actually am kind of going random all of a sudden, so I don't I'm not, I'm kind of spewing out from like intuition here, obviously, or something. I ignore that too. I don't even know. See, I started thinking about the free will thing, and I tried to go deeper in my brain, and I couldn't, and then it started having a slight negative effect on me. But then I thought, let's just let the chaos ensue. And I think that's beneficial for me, because I believe the chaos that is a lack of free will, all this other stuff. I don't know why I labeled it as chaos. But this feeling that it's kind of this chaos, this uncontrollable thing, I think I'm fine with just saying let it ensue, because I think I believe it's going to be beneficial for me in the end and overall, and that's why I'm okay with it. But I'm sure if I was looking through this lens onto life and saying, and I had the same beliefs, but look, except for I believe that I wasn't going to have a good life because of the lack of free will, I would kind of dislike it. But because I believe that its outcome, which again to me is that's the only thing that matters, because that is everything. The outcome is going to be beneficial. It's going to work well for me. Then I can be okay with it, and I feel good. It's almost like a force of nature working for me, I think. I've never thought about it in this way before. I'm kind of breaking it down here. But I think that makes sense, and I feel pretty fucking good, because I think I actually believe. I just got a high all of a sudden. I think these highs feel really good. I don't get them much. Now it's already gone, but like it was like it's back again, because I've kind of trained myself to smile to get highs, but it's like there's like, I don't know actually if it's correlation or causational. Wait, hold on. That's there again. Like it's flowing through my entire body, man. But more upper. It's kind of upper focused. Hey, bring it back again. It's not as strong. It's like kind of slipping down a little bit, but it feels pretty fucking good. Now there's still undertones of misery, of emptiness, but anyway, I guess for some reason I think I've convinced myself through talking that maybe it's right. I'm gonna say it could be right. That chances are it actually is, because with how much friction I have and I'm still kind of even moving forward in the right direction, it should start to create a runaway effect over time and benefit me more. And it doesn't matter if what I'm saying here is true, because it's creating a positive emotional influence on me that is going to lead to these good creation, these good habits. But I believe this lack of free will is a force in my benefit. I'm going to believe that. And it's all for me. And I think now that I'm thinking about it, Julius Perceiver, I think, talked about something like this, that believe you're destined for greatness. Dude, this is the most productive thing I've done this entire week. This talk, actually, that may not be true. There may be more stuff I've done that's been productive, but I couldn't see, it's more for it's going to help long term, and so I couldn't see an outcome right away, or, I didn't get the same high that I got right now. Those highs feel really good, dude. Like, feel really, really, really good. I could probably bring it back. Hold on. I have to believe. If I truly believe. Wait, no. It's okay. Now I'm at elevation. I'm in a state of elevation. I might be able to keep this. Truly elevated. It's actually elevated, guys. I can surf. No. Okay, I have to link this with something like smiling. Or I can really just remember it. I can link it with the prediction of reality. Yes, dude. Yes. I can link it, I think, or something. Oh, actually, boom. Like, that is the link. That's the link right there. That's the link right there. And I could should I just link it? It's a prediction now. It's a fucking prediction. And I don't know if it's dopamine, though. It's not quite addicting in the same way dopamine is. Is it a boost of serotonin? I don't know anything. Wait, it's gone. I think I can actually. I'm getting control. I can bring it back up. Oh shit! It's back up again. All right, but it's going back down again. But it's okay. If I can grasp this, I'm gonna forget this soon. But I know, I have faith that even though my mind gets so caught up in the moment, I'll forget it. Because of the way my mind is wired, and I've seen these patterns in the past, this will come back. So even if I lose this now, or by tomorrow, I'll come back to this even if it takes years. And in the scope of if I live to like fucking 500 years because of anti-aging, whatever, the scope of like 10, 20 years is such a small amount of time, because my life's not going to be at 80 years. Don't think of your life in terms, you need to start changing how long you think a year actually is, which I haven't done, but I know it's true for me. Assuming the premises of my predictions are true, or whatever, predictions are true, then I can change the way in which I need to change. 1 year is not the same percentage of your life that it normally is. Let's say you have 100 years. 1 year is not, 1%, because it's 500 years. So it's like, I can't, I don't know. I'm really bad at math. What's 1 divided by 5? Is there 5 divided by 1? I don't know how to do. It would be 1/5. No. Wait. 1%. What percent is 1 of 500? I know it's 1% of 100. You just divide that by 5 instead of 1%. It's 20. No, like 0.2. Is it 0.2%? It's 0.2% of your life, right? So I don't even know how I got there. I actually don't know how I even got there. It's just, no, I kind of know how I got there. 0.2% of your life, instead of being 1%, which is not a lot, 0.2%, like if you live to 500, because that could be extreme. And so the point is, these years that we have, and you can't really get out of like this strong. Like, obviously, when you're in them, it's still gonna fucking suck, and you probably can't change your perception of the bad times that to. If you're looking at it from, I don't know. If you're looking at it from an overall picture, though, instead of leaving, my mind normally just leaves off stuff. I'm gonna try to complete it. Go back. Even takes effort. Let me make sure this is still recording. Oh my fucking god! Are you still going? Dude, if that low battery canceled me, I'm gonna actually, like, I swear I'm gonna do something really bad. But let me hold on. I'm gonna try to speak slower. My mental illness is actually coming out right now internally, but back to the high. I think I fucking do it, dude. But it's getting away. See, the undertones strip away the high. It's not strong enough to compete. Look at your life as a grant. You know, if you have some kind of goal, and look from a kind of you know, an eagle eye view, or from more, you know, kind of like a wider perspective. Kind of downplay how much this even matters. Actually, I can feel my body vibrating from my voice. Wait, if I do it higher, it's different. If I do it lower, it's different. Anyway, let me get back. And I don't know if anyone even actually does what I'm talking about. So, like, I'm not just kind of like in your mind have this implementation of this small amount of time that feels quite vast because you're in it, especially when the emotions are strong and negative. It you know, it is actually quite insignificant. Not that the emotions aren't there, but that you have so much more, which is hard. It's hard. It's more about it's like when you start to get into a negative state, you need to recognize it and kind of start trying to escape it as soon as you can, because I guess I would say the deeper you get into a spot mentally, the harder it is to get out. Like, the longer you're in there, it's harder to get out. Now, eventually, they oftentimes resolve, kind of. Not that you're, like, better mentally, but, like, they kind of resolve, but it's just hard to get out of them. So if you can recognize it as you're in them, you're kind of going in, you know, kind of keep an eye out for as you get into those. You know, just watch. Like, oh, am I good right now? Am I good right now? Because sometimes when you're in them, that state is the only way you can see reality. And so it's hard to remember that could be different. But you need to remember that it can be, even if you can't feel it at the moment. And, you know, maybe the reason I brought that up is because maybe that perspective of, you know, anti-aging, you're gonna live very long. These you know, you're on a very small portion of your life, even if it's a few years. Kind of having that, like, that insignificant mindset on things may help you, even if you're kind of in a negative period of your life, because you're kind of looking at it in an insignificant way. That doesn't mean you don't take steps to try to improve it, but it's like, you know what? I know in a few years, chances are I probably will be out of this, especially if you're taking the right steps, you know, trying to improve your life, even if it's making no difference short term. Or even if you do nothing, it's like, chances are this is such a small portion. Yeah, it seems like it's all it is now, but I know that my life may be shit now, and, like, man, the conditions could be better. It's been like this for, like, too long. Well, you're going to have a lot longer, because if you can get to that, you know, and have anti-aging technology, you will live a lot longer, and then the part that was bad will be an insignificant portion. Like, so I'm just thinking maybe having that mindset can be a small, can be a small counterweight for the mental spirals that start to appear with unhappiness and a resentment towards what life has given you. But there's sometimes the resentment is so strong because believe me, I know how strong the resentment can be. And sometimes you're in a place and you really just can't get out of it. And sometimes it's just luck that you do. Like sometimes you just really can't get out. And now and sometimes you know how to get out, kind of, but it's like you're too weak to even do anything. It's drained you. But you know, and I'm not going to say anymore. Anyway, guys, either you do it or you don't. And I'm taking that mindset with me right now. I had before, but I'm going to, it's going to influence my actions tonight. With me doing meditation, even though I don't feel like sitting down and doing it, and I haven't been making much progress recently. My mind's been kind of weird during meditation. I haven't been able to do it well. But I know that if I keep going well enough, my mind will get better. Even if I don't see it for months or years. Well, really it's silly months. But it'll get better. And so I just have to keep doing it. And think about it. If either I do it and make progress or don't, like the gamble is only a positive one. It's not a negative one. Because I can go and not do it, and then I do scroll on Reels, which I will still scroll probably, but it's like less so. Anyway, guys, there have been some, highs and lows in this week. More lows, because that's how my life usually is. But, I don't seem too upset about it right now. Because I like the view as it is, man. It's pretty freaking cool. Yeah, I like all the lights. If anyone is intelligent, actually, no. If there's anyone out there who can help me become enlightened in any way, who can help me be less, pick apart flaws in my mind, who can help me see the world more clearly, the mechanisms of existence, because I've been quite flawed recently, and I see it and I still fall into the flaws. I say that and I don't really ever want to do stuff, but I think I'm closer to, I am now the type of person who will do stuff regardless. It's important to identify with the person who does things, not with the person who's trying to do things, because I am the type of person to do those things. I used to not be, but now I am. I mean, yeah, I'm the type of I'm the type of person to do stuff even when I don't feel like it. And maybe I'm doing that because I'm trying to convince myself, but it is true because it just is. I'm not going to break it down any further than that because, I can tell it's a positive influence, so let's not go into it. It's no point. You can do that later anyway. I guess now in my life, I'm always going to think about stuff. I don't really think, to be honest. I really don't think, man. I'm always just kind of blindly going through. But I believe once, as I become more accustomed to the pain of life, and more specifically, I can sit in the pain, I'll be able to think more. But you know, things couldn't have been different. I don't believe in free will, and it's like I really couldn't have acted differently. Like I feel like, I mean, I guess I have regrets, and those are good because it stops me from like repeating the actions in the future. But at the same time, and I say this, what I'm about to say, but it's like, I don't know if it's like emotionally clicked. You know, if I emotionally align with it, but like again, I don't believe in free will, and I believe my belief is true, probably, assuming I'm not an ignorant fool, because there are lots of ignorant fools besides me who think that their beliefs are true, and based off that, you can tell that, well, believing in something to be true doesn't prove it to be true, probably. Unless this reality just doesn't function in the way we think. I'm not going to go in all these random places. But, you know, believing in something to be true doesn't mean it's true. And so why do I think that me believing in something to be logical and true makes it true? It seems that way to me. But obviously, it seems that way to a lot of other people as well. And these people all have... I'm not even going to say, well, they don't believe in what I believe in, so they're not like, you know, right. I'm just going to say that we all have contradicting views, but yet we all believe these views to be true. We all believe our own individual contradicting, you know, we all believe there's so many different people. There's so many different people who have these different contradicting views from a different person, and yet each of those people all believe in their own views to be true. And so if these things are contradictory, they can't all be true. So that means that guarantees people to be wrong, right? And so that means that belief does not equal alignment to truth. Like, and now I am going to trust myself here, actually. I'm going to trust my intuition that I have enough... Actually, I don't know if I can. See, you have to have a certain level of belief in yourself or you just can't move forward. You can't believe that, like, you know... What's that one? You can't believe that your entire reality is a simulation, that this is all fake, because you can't move forward in that. Unless you want to go insane, or whatever that even means, then go for it. Like, don't let anyone else stop you. If you believe that, you know, reality is all being faked, or whatever, like, these things we believe to be true actually aren't, you know, the very laws themselves are actually false, and we're living under this illusion of reality within our minds, whatever that is made up of. If that could be true, actually. And if I'm not going to move in that, because it's, I guess my program is not wanting to go there. But if you want to, and you see something there, whatever it is, you know, I guess feel free. I'm personally not, and I'm not even calling you. I'm not saying like, oh, you're an idiot or this or that. I just am not. Now, sometimes I do try to move in there a little bit just to see what happens. I try to think about it a bit, but it turns into I think derealization and all this negative stuff, which I can't deal with. I have dealt with it, but I prefer not to be there. I prefer to sit in less misery if I can choose. You know, I prefer to minimize my misery. Anyway, but if you want to go there, then I would say go there. It'd probably be better to do that under the influence of things. I feel like you can make more progress. But, you know, do so both. Do you know, whatever you want. Like, don't listen to other people who, I mean, you're probably going to anyway, and I'm going to, because we care about what people think of us. It's just human, like I said. Of course, that will matter less when you have a tribe of people who truly know you. Like, I think they have to really know your darkest secrets, and they have to be ready to die for you. Or no, they just have to know you. They don't have to be ready to die for you. Scratch that. I don't know much about that. But it's like when people, you know, other people tell you don't do this or don't do that. They could be right, but a lot of times it's like they're I don't know, guys. Like, just don't listen to people, honestly. And you can apply it to me as well. But if you apply it to me, then you wouldn't do I don't know. That's weird. you can't try to logically break down every little. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it for most people. Trying to logically break down every little function. Trying to, like, you have to let certain things be instinctual, I think. That's also because I'm not far enough educated on logic or whatever. I don't know what I'm saying here. Ignore that last, like, 30 seconds. That's all, guys.